Hi guys, in this video I wanted to quickly run through what I've learned from streaming up to 3 hours a day for the past 3 days. And I thought it might be interesting for anybody who's considering going into streaming, live streaming on YouTube. Let's get started. First of all, what was my motivation for starting this live stream journey or doing live streams? I was just very curious, right? I was very curious about live streams, but also I thought I'd paired that curiosity with something that I actually needed to do. So this year, one of my goals, or you could call it New Year's resolutions, and this is more of a process goal as opposed to a, like an outcome goal. And the goal here is to build my consistency muscle. So being able to be consistent with a project that I choose to do, because oftentimes it's quite easy to start a project, but not always as easy to actually complete it and see it to completion. So that's the idea. That's what I'm trying to build. And I chose to build this using the book that I want to write. I've always thought about writing books. Many people have thought about it. Not many people actually get to the point of finishing a book. Many people do start. So many people think about it. Some people start. Some people get halfway and drop off. And some people actually get to the end and never publish because they're too scared of what people might say. And then there's some who actually get around to publishing. I want to be that person who gets around to actually publishing. But in order to do that, I have to actually write the book. And I found that I needed something to keep me going and just keep me writing daily. And what I did was I set the bar very low. I said, okay, you know what? You just have to write 200 words a day, minimum. And that's not too hard to do, right? I first of all started by writing out the outline of the book and then actually going ahead and just each day just trying to write a bit. But what I found was that with streaming, I actually, because I had the goal of coming live and I knew that other people would be watching me as I'm putting something online, I actually found for the past 3 days, I've actually been able to stick with it. And not only do I write more than 200 words, I've written between 1,000 and 2,000 words a day, which is some pretty impressive progress. Also considering I've been writing on paper, just pen and paper. And the reason I do this is because I find I concentrate better and I don't get too distracted. But anyway, back to the live stream. So for me, it's actually been very motivating to actually go on a live stream and do something on a live stream. And just the virtual presence of an audience is kind of motivating. So just wanted to mention that. But then there are a few other reasons or other lessons I've learned from live streaming. I'm going to share them with you. But let me give you the categories first. So first is viewership and interaction. So from the audience seeing what I'm doing, then doing it as a content strategy, like what I'm gaining from doing this. Then there's the streaming setup and software, so the different software I used in trying to stream. Then there's some technical tips as well that I can share with you. And then some enhancements you can put on your stream to make it even more engaging. And then discovering different formats, so actually filming landscape versus filming portrait as you would see in YouTube Shorts or TikTok videos, and what the benefits might be of that. All right, let's get into it. So first of all, viewership and interaction. Lessons I learned here are simple, 3 things basically. One, it's quite likely when you're just starting off streaming and you're a small YouTube channel initially, you may have 0 viewers, and that's okay. The important thing is you're building the muscle. But if you do want viewers, you can get a few friends and family to log on a few times. They don't need to they can just keep it muted if they don't want to watch the whole thing. But at least seeing that there's 1 or 2 people in the audience there can be motivating. But realize that when you first start, you're probably going to be streaming to literally just 1 person or nobody, and that's okay. With more practice and the more you do it, you get over that feeling of, or that awkward feeling of streaming to nobody. Just bear that in mind. Next, you may have people who come online briefly, and that's because maybe your video popped up on their feed when they logged into YouTube. And so some will come in. Most people who do come in will probably not engage, but some will. Now, if you post in the chat during your live stream, and then if you use software like StreamYard or TalkLabs, or TalkStudio rather, and then put comments on the video, people are more likely to see those comments. So either put them in the chat or put them in the chat and in the video, so physically on the video, then people can see that and then they can interact with it. What I often do is when I see somebody signs in to my live stream, I just give a wave. And that for me just means it's just a way of interacting with them. Now, the live stream I chose to do was a work with me live stream where you're not hearing me speak about anything. I just have music playing in the background and I just carry on with my work, sort of thing. And the idea of it is to encourage somebody else who gets motivated by seeing other people working to just see my video and just get on with some work in that period. So in that, I found that I just played background music and it was fun. Some people came in. One person joined in and didn't even know what a live stream was, and then she then just put a message out saying, "Oh, hi, hi from Kazakhstan. What is this?" And I said, "Oh, it's just a live stream." She's like, "Oh, what's a live stream?" I was like, "Oh, well, a live stream is basically going live online, and so in real time people can watch what you're doing." And I told her why I was doing it, because I was writing a book. I said, "Oh, okay, cool." And then the person stayed on for a little while and then they left. But it was a cool interaction. Another person came on at a different point and just left emojis of just different animals, which is a bit strange, but hey, it's an interaction. So I was like, okay. Then one or two other people just come on and say hi. I try to interact with them and say, well, there's a guy called Richard, for example, who logged on and said hi. And then I tried to say hi back, but didn't get a response. But that's okay. You get used to this over time. And as you build your audience, you get people who are more engaged with your content and would be likely to engage with you and talk with you or chat with you in the live chat. But for now, when you're just starting out, don't worry. It's very likely that you will get no or few subscribers, and that is okay. All right. But acknowledging them and engaging them whilst you're live streaming is also pretty good. It makes them feel good. All right. The next is in order to get me doing the streaming. So now we're talking about content strategy here. Now, streaming is a good way of racking up the watch hours you need to get monetized on YouTube. Now, imagine you live stream for 2 hours a day and you had 10 people watching it, or 100 people, I don't know, watching it. Let's say you're able to get 2 hours of watch time in a day, right? Maybe one person decided to watch your live stream all the way through while some people came in and out, sort of thing. If you did 2 hours a day for 365 days, let me calculate how many watch hours you get from that. Let's say there was somebody who actually watched it for 2 hours. You'd get 730 watch hours. Now, if you had 10 people doing that, and remember, your live streams can be watched much later on. You would have, if you had 10 people watching 2 hours a day, or it could be 10 different people, and for 365 days, you would get 7,300 watch hours, which quite frankly is way more than you need, because to get monetized, you only need 4,000 watch hours. And to get the first level of monetization, actually, you only need 3,000 hours, and then you can sell products and stuff on YouTube. But if you wanted the full monetization where you can get ad revenue, it works quite well with that. But then to have something that you're constantly live streaming about, you need something. And one way to do that is to just put on the camera when you're doing things that you would normally do anyway. So my channel is more about tech products and tech reviews, but I do put some personal stuff on there, or stuff with a different topic. For example, me writing this book. I'm not putting too much information about the book. I'm just putting my live streams of me writing the book. So I've been doing that, and it's been going pretty cool so far. It's been pretty good so far. Okay, so what else can I say about content strategy? For me, I've chosen to do a work with me video just because it's less heavy-handed in terms of me having to think of what to say in the video. I just need to turn my camera on and carry on with work. It's as simple as that. So that's a very simple strategy for me for going live. Now, granted, I don't know how engaging it would be for people just tuning in. But then I suppose if I do set a time and tell people, I'll put a message out saying I'm going to go live at XYZ time, and people can join me for, a work session or a study session, maybe that might encourage more people to join in at the time when I go live. But for now, I'm still experimenting, so it's still okay. Next, what I did as well was impairing my writing with my live streaming endeavor. What I did was I set a bar low for my writing. So I said, okay, you just have to write 200 words a day. And writing 200 words a day, that was just to get me started and to get over the inertia of, I don't know if I want to do this. It's going to take a long time, Rather than do that, just say, you know what, I only have to write 200 words a day. And it could be, if your goal is streaming, you could say, I only need to stream for 5 minutes or even 1 minute. The important thing is to get yourself started. A lot of times, the issue with procrastination is not doing the work. It's actually just getting started on the work. I often find that when I just get myself started one way or another, whether it's just by telling myself I only have to do this for a minute, 5 minutes, I actually find that I'm able to go even further. The biggest hump to get over is just that starting. So something to bear in mind there. Next set of, would I say, advice or things I've learned is to do with your streaming setup and software. When you're streaming and you're starting off for the first time, find the simplest way to start. That's my biggest advice to you. Biggest advice. Find the simplest way to start. And the simplest way to start could be literally going live with your phone on YouTube. So literally, if you have the setting enabled in order to be able to live stream from your phone, I know there are a few requirements on the number of videos you've posted before you can go live. But if you do have that enabled, literally just go on the YouTube app, press the plus icon and start and go live that way. That's the simplest way to go live. Other ways to go live would be to do that on your computer, again, using the YouTube website. Or if you want something a bit more sophisticated, use streaming software. And I mean online streaming software such as StreamYard or Talk Studio, also by Streamlabs. Talk Studio is by Streamlabs. And they just make it so easy. Basically, they plug in straight to your YouTube channel. You don't have to do you don't require much technical knowledge to be able to do this. And then you can just press a few buttons and go live. Put in some information about your stream and then go live just like that. So it's something I'd really recommend. Do that. Now, I've experimented with using Streamlabs and OBS desktop software, and it does take some setting up. And the setting up was just getting me a bit annoyed and made me almost not do it. And I thought, you know what, let's just go for the simplest way. I'm just starting up. I might actually switch to OBS or Streamlabs later when I spent time learning. But when I want to just get started with live streaming and not have to think about too many things, StreamYard or Talk Studio is the best way to go. Let you just do it. Now on the free tier, because it's a subscription service where you have to pay. But for the free tier that they both have, they'll have the logo of the brand that you're using. So either StreamYard or Talk Studio. And when you're just starting off, that is okay. Leave the logo there. In fact, make the most of it by monetizing. So each of those services has a referral link, and if anybody buys a subscription using your referral link, you also get paid for it. That's what I meant to say. So if that's the case, then what you can do is just make sure you put that there and just say powered by StreamYard or powered by Talk Studio and put that up there. Under this video as well, let me mute my phone, shall I? Hold on a second. So under this video as well, you'll find my referral links, and you can do the same as well and then get paid that way when you're live streaming, which is pretty cool, isn't it? I think so. Okay, anyway. And then what I would say is there are different, limitations on the free tier for both services and just different functionality. They're both pretty good, and in terms of functionality, they're pretty well matched. But there are a few differences I noted which I thought is worth mentioning. I hadn't tried it on Talk Studio, but StreamYard actually has the ability to stream either portrait or landscape. So landscape is the long one to horizontal, and then portrait is the view that you sort of get when you're filming TikTok videos or YouTube shorts. So that vertical video. I tried using the vertical video on StreamYard today, and it actually worked pretty well. And it was actually pretty good because there was a little mishap that happened somewhere in the stream. I don't know if you'll recognize it if you watch it. It was a long stream, so just under 3 hours. But basically, I had a mattress propped up a wall just behind me, and somehow it wasn't standing properly, and it just fell down. And I sort of heard it falling, and as I saw it, I kind of stopped it from falling, but it still fell, and it knocked one of my lights out. But the funny thing is that because of the narrow field of view on vertical videos. You just saw me turn around almost in haste and hold something, but you didn't actually see what it was. So that's kind of cool because it kind of cropped that out. So I don't have to go into my live stream to edit that out. You just can't see what happened, which is fine. And because my microphone was muted at the time, it also means that there was no, you couldn't hear it. So the viewers wouldn't know what happened. But if you watch that video, you'll know what happened. That was the live stream I did today. So, okay, on day 3 of my recording. Anyway, then one of the benefits I found on Talk Studio over StreamYard was the ability to play background tracks. So both tools have the ability to play background tracks. The only thing though is that on StreamYard, you can only loop one track at a time, but StreamYard does have a few built-in background tracks. However, you can only loop one at a time, or you'd have to go in and click to change the tracks each time, which can be a bit of a pain. And that option is actually hidden in the brand tab. So if you're looking for it, that's where you'll find it, on the brand tab. Just scroll down a bit. Now in Talk Studio, there was a difference. So what I could do in Talk Studio was that I could actually upload multiple tracks that I wanted to play and then just have them loop through on a playlist, which I thought was very handy. So I had about 3 tracks that I got from the YouTube audio library, which is free. And for some of the content there, some of the audio there, you have to attribute them. So put the credits in the description of your video, which is simple and fine enough to do. And some of them are free. So I downloaded a few free ones that didn't actually require any attribution, although I did put the attribution there because I thought it was just good music and it's good for other people to hear. So I put that in the description of the live stream and then just got on with recording. But yeah, Talk Studio has that functionality for the playlist for playing. StreamYard has a way of getting around it by uploading a video with, basically you'd have to take all the tracks you want, put them in a video, and then save the video, and then upload the video to StreamYard, but make sure that it's on the StreamYard stage, but not visible on the page. When you start using StreamYard, you get what I mean. And then you can have it playing in the background so people would hear it, but not see the video track. So that's one way around it. But that's quite long and it's not very versatile. For example, if I wanted to switch the tracks or play a different track than the one that was playing at that time or looping, then I wouldn't be able to. So it's just a bit tricky there. And then also the video does not loop. So once the video ends, it ends, which then means that you have to go in and manually press play again, which can be just a pain. So I would say Talk Studio wins for that. Then StreamYard also has a benefit in that there is no limit, as far as I can see, on how often you can stream using the free tier. There's a limit on how much you can record using the free tier, but not how much you can stream. Now, on Talk Studio side, there is a 4-hour limit, live stream limit per month. So that's something to bear in mind if you're using Talk Studio. So if you want to stream for more than 4 hours and access the high resolution, you're going to have to pay the monthly subscription fee. It's not very much, and quite frankly, for what it does, it's worth paying for, I think, particularly if you're going to be streaming quite a lot. But it's just something to bear in mind and consider. Then I had some hacks that I used, which I thought I'd share with you as well. So these are technical tips, a few technical tips I'll share with you. The first is, if you want multiple camera angles on StreamYard, what you can do is log into the live stream using different devices. So in the last live stream, I used my iPad as one of the screens, as well as my mirrorless camera plugged into my laptop. And all I had to do was just switch guests on solo view, if that makes sense. So just basically click on one camera and make sure that was solo. And so I would see that one, and then when I wanted to switch angles, I'd click on the other guest in the sense or the thing, and then I just made sure I didn't put the guest names when I was streaming on StreamYard. What that then means is that I can just have those different angles, which was quite handy and a nice way of making things dynamic. But something else to make it even more dynamic is when using your iPad, you can set the video option such that it gives you something quite interesting, I'd have to say. So let me get it up for you. Oh, I can't seem to find it at the moment. Let me see. Let me switch. So I've got my iPad on me right here. I'm trying to show you what it does, which is pretty cool. So in terms of video, I'm trying to, oh, it won't let me. Never mind. Anyway, so what the video does basically, it has a framing mode where it can actually use the camera and get the camera to move around with you. So put you in the frame. So if you move to the left, the camera moves to the left. If you move back, it expands or contracts such that it has you in the frame. And I think that can be quite good when you're live streaming if you want just a bit more movement in the camera rather than the camera being in a fixed position. So I'll see if I can, it'll take too long for me to log in now on my iPad, but it would have been really cool to show it to you. But anyway, that's something that you can do, which you should bear in mind, which kind of makes your live stream a little bit more dynamic in terms of view. So it's almost as if you've got a cameraman, which is literally your iPad moving around. So which I think is pretty cool, if I do say so myself, and I do. So now I did find that I was trying to stream from VLC. So VLC is an app for playing music. So I was trying to stream using VLC on my computer. And I found that although it can share the screen, it wouldn't share the audio when I was using Chrome, because for some reason, Chrome could only share audio from a tab, like a Chrome tab. So that was a limitation there of using StreamYard or Talk Studio. But it's something to bear in mind. So basically, if you want to have some background music, it's best to just upload it to the platform and then play it directly from StreamYard or Talk Studio. Then just bear in mind as well, sometimes you may end up pressing the shortcut for unmuting. So just always keep an eye on the mute button and make sure that you are not unmuted when you didn't plan to be. And if you're using multiple devices, you want to make sure the volume is set to low on all the devices except the main one, and then also make sure it's muted. That's very important. And when you're starting off the stream, you can actually use a countdown timer. So if somebody logs on to the stream, you can start it maybe a minute earlier than you plan to start speaking, and then just put on the countdown video. StreamYard had a few stock countdown videos you could include, which I thought was quite a nice addition to the tool there. So you could just click on that and then it'd have the countdown, and then whilst it's counting down, you can queue up your music, and then once it counts to 3, 2, 1, you play your music and you get started with your live stream. If whether or not you want to add your audio to your microphone to it or not is up to you, but I thought that was a really nice touch you could get from that. And then just make sure that your live stream is as engaging as you can make it, and use that as a way to practice. So just avoid overthinking it. Just literally go in and do it. And I'm going to continue looking at different ways of live streaming, of putting videos out there. And like I said, it's pretty good for building up those watch hours you need in order to monetize on YouTube. But also, one last thing actually was looking at videos in landscape and portrait, and I did find that it was actually pretty cool doing it in portrait, like I said, but I need to think whether I want to continue going on with portrait or landscape. Landscape is what people are used to for live streams, but people used to landscape, but portrait might actually work. And I have seen sometimes when I'm scrolling through videos on YouTube Shorts, for example, where I'd see the live button on a video that somebody else has put in. I could just click on that and then join their live stream. So I thought, okay, there could be something there for discoverability. But having said that, though, I did find that I had more people viewing my live stream when I was in landscape mode, but that may have just been down to timing. And that's another thing to mention. The timing of your live stream does matter in that there might be times when you're more likely to get people come on your live stream than others. I haven't figured out what the magic time is yet, so I'm going to keep on trying different times and see what I get in terms of number of viewers or number of people, logging into the live stream. So those are the lessons that I learned from live streaming this week, and this video is live streamed as well. And I just thought it's a good way to just get out there, not overthink things, and just record and put stuff put content out there and just keep iterating with each one over time. I've also been iterating with the lights I have in my background. Right now I'm using this sunset lamp, which is pretty cool. And then I also often have another color in the background to create some contrast. That fell down a few minutes ago, so I didn't put it in this stream. But I think going forward, I'll keep playing with lights and mixing things up a bit, so just to give you a different view. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this, and I like the fact that I can just record, put it up there, and not overthink things and just put things out there. So hopefully that was interesting to you and helpful to you, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to create a few more videos like these and just get things out there that could be helpful and useful. All right, that's it for me today. Go ahead and check out some of my other videos that you might find interesting. I talk about tech, and I also talk about mindset things that to keep you going in life and to keep you, doing, knowing better and doing better and being better with each video. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care and goodbye. I'll catch you later. Bye.